So I thought I was going to put somebody under, and it's a rat.
Bruh.
All right. Welcome to our couch. Today we're talking about what it's like to live in a trailer park. We've been living in a trailer park for a little over a year now, actually closer to a year and a half. And how we ended up in a trailer park, that's a whole other story for another day. That's going to be a long story.
It involves a lot of con artists and scheming
and losing your life savings and all that kind of good stuff.
Here we are.
It is what it is.
We did a survey on our other channel whether you guys thought we lived in a trailer park or not. And surprisingly, 74% of our audience seems to think that we're kidding.
Right. That this is a joke.
That it's a joke. People in the comments would say, you wouldn't seem like people that would end up in a situation like that. And who cares if you live in a trailer park? No, I don't believe you live in a trailer park.
A wide variety of comments. They were hilarious.
So, we thought, what a better way to start the couch cast than to
talk about what it's like to live in a trailer park.
Yes. Number one, trailer parks get a rep for being like white trash. Like it's there's like that Adam Calhoun video, what was it called? Racism. It's like basically like the comment said, you know, you guys seem like you would never end up in a situation.
You guys are too smart to end up in a situation like that.
And that it's strange, but when you live in a trailer park, it's like a lot of the people here, they didn't end up here by accident per se. Like they didn't end up here, they chose to be here.
Right. Yeah, and it's crazy because, okay, we can't speak on everyone's experience, right? This is our experience, our specific trailer. This is a 1971 single-wide trailer. It's pretty long, but it's a narrow little trailer. It's not in the best condition.
No insulation.
Okay, it has some, but it's spotty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the insulation on the roof all has deteriorated by now. And the walls are insulated, but the windows are just like a sheet of glass. If you look under the trailer, the insulation's all falling out from critters.
Yeah, critters.
Which brings me to a question I have for you. Okay. And we're just kind of freestyling here, so I'm going to ask you some questions. You ask me some questions. What has been the hardest part about living in a trailer over the last year?
Rats.
Bruh.
Big old suckers.
Yeah, so when we moved in here, we didn't know this trailer had a rat problem.
It goes along with the whole story of the con artist.
Yes, it was not disclosed to us, but come to find out, they knew about it before we got this place. But it was a surprise to us.
Best kind of surprise.
So why has that been hard to deal with for you?
Well, because, growing up, my dad was an exterminator. So growing up, we didn't have any type of really bugs, like maybe the occasional spider, but that was about it, you know? Plus, Missouri's different than Florida. So, like, Florida, you get a lot more variety of, like, wild and animals, you know? Like, just the squirrels are different. Like, if you've ever moved from, like, the Midwest or the West Coast to the East Coast, it's just different.
How did we realize we had rats? I remember seeing rats in the sunroom one time. I saw a rat just like dash. I was like, wait, what was that?
Oh, I remember how
a mouse or a rat? I didn't know. It was fast. I didn't know what it was.
Or like a squirrel. It's literally like a blur.
It's so fast.
But I think the first time we knew for sure was when that one died and it was huge.
No, we knew before that.
Maybe
Thanks
the bread.
from seeing them in this. Oh, yeah.
Remember that bread? We had a
loaf of bread.
Yeah, so when we weren't ever supposed to live here, right? So when we first moved in, it was like there were still more people living here that hadn't moved out yet. So they had food in the cabinet, and we found a loaf of bread as we were cleaning stuff out that had been like chewed into in the cabinet. We were like, oh, this is odd. This is really weird.
And then we saw in another cabinet that we don't use, open it up, it's a bunch of rat turds. In the kitchen.
Yes.
Right above our dishes.
And guys, imagine like literally, I'm coming from like, you know, like I feel like did you guys ever have like stuff growing up? Like
we had mice when I was really young.
Like field mice.
We used to catch them on sticky traps and it was horrible. I was really young. I would cry sometimes if the mouse would be on the trap and we just throw it in the trash can. I thought it was kind of cruel. I was like 8. Other than that, no, we had bought a couple cats to help deal with the mice. They were fat and lazy, so they didn't even help. But yeah.
See, that's the thing in trailer parks. There's lots of stray cats in Florida in general. Anyway, you would think, oh, stray cats, they're going to take care of the mice and rats. Nope. I mean,
everyone feeds the cats. Like, they hunt birds sometimes, but the cats decently well fed.
The rats are definitely the number one thing. I mean, I'm kind of squeamish. So that was definitely the number one thing that was, like, shocking for me.
Right. Remember that time when in the kitchen you saw a little...
Oh my God. Okay, literally, guys, one time I was like, what was I doing? Like washing dishes?
I don't know. You like walked into the kitchen.
I like walked into the kitchen, and then above the sink, there's like a over sink cabinet and whatever. I just see this like tail swing out above the sink, swing out from under the cabinet, and it's just a tail swinging. Right? There's some pasta that we were storing. It wasn't even our pasta, actually. It was in the cabinet, though, and it was stored in that cabinet. And so the rats used to love to come in right by the sink, which is right by the outside of the trailer, and they used to, like, basically eat the pasta right above the sink. So one time I see this tail, like, swoop, just dangling in the kitchen.
And she screams.
And I screamed.
I'm like, did someone break in? What's going on? You know?
That is the hardest. That was like the hardest thing to get used to. And I mean, I don't know if it's a trailer park thing. I don't know if it's this specific situation, the specific trailer itself, because it's older. You know what I mean? And definitely the con artists did not keep up with this place. You know.
I think it's specific to our situation, and there may be rats in every trailer park. I don't know, but what we've had to deal with, I think, is very specific to us. Yeah. Right. So eventually, I just patched up all the holes that were in the kitchen. I didn't really have the proper tools, and we were super broke. Just had like a few $100s in the bank account, but I had a Sawzall, and I just rough cut some lumber I found, like some sheets of some OSB board. I just rough cut it with a hacksaw, plugged all the little openings, and so now the rats can't get in anymore. But I've still seen them on the outside. But killed so many rats.
At least a dozen, maybe.
Okay, I don't know, but a dozen.
Remember we used to count. I used to literally send pictures to my mom.
But more than 6.
More than 9. Because I used to send pictures to my mom. She would number them and she would name them as like a joke, like keeping it lighthearted. She would be like Tom and Jerry, and like she would name them like
Mickey, Minnie.
Yeah, rat things.
But yeah, we just had the rat snapper traps, and boom, we have security cameras from dealing with people, but we have a bunch of security cameras.
Whole other story.
So I used to set the rat traps in front of the security camera because I wanted to be able to see. But yeah, there's security camera you can just see snap. Like we have all the footage. Not gonna put that on YouTube, but we can put a picture. So if you are squeamish, you might want to skip ahead 10 seconds because the picture is going up now.
So, what was your favorite? I mean, not your favorite. What is
that's a valid question.
Yeah, I mean, because we could talk about, like, guys, it sounds disgusting and it sounds terrifying, like, unimaginable, but this has grown. I feel like it's giving me so much character and so much, like, heart and stuff that, like, I would honestly wish for people to experience something like this.
I mean, not everyone needs it.
Not everyone. That's true. But nonetheless.
And then it is, like, just another way to live as well. If you want low expenses, which has been my favorite part about living here, because we ended up here a month before the pandemic. We ended up here January 2020. Yeah. And we didn't know what was coming. Really, March, I would say, is when things got crazy. Yeah. We didn't know what was coming.
And in a single month, guys.
Well, we didn't end up here January. We actually ended up here in March, like the first week in March. But January is when we were putting the money down for this place.
And guys, in a single month, our business income went from like $9,000 a month to like $300 a month. In a single month. And it hadn't hit, it wasn't at like $9,000 a month for like forever or something. We had just hit a nice stride right before the pandemic.
That has been my favorite part, honestly, low expenses. It's been pretty chill. Like, it's not really as bad as people think it is. Like, it has a stigma, but I guess there are some trailer parks that are more like trailer park boys, and other trailer parks that are just like neighborhoods.
We've stayed in one like that.
Yeah, we stayed in one that looked like trailer park boys for about a month.
Yeah.
But this one's just, I would say, it's like a neighborhood that's lower class. I don't know the proper term, but it's like a neighborhood that's not full of rich people.
Right. It's weird because it's like from the outside looking in, there are aspects that I would definitely judge.
There's a lot of people on fixed income and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of people probably on disability, a lot of people, you know, who probably do some kind of drugs or drinking. Like, yeah, you do get that, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's the minority of people. I mean, a lot of people drink, but if you're talking about alcoholics, I would say that's a minority of people.
Yes,
most people are just like completely normal, average people. You would see them at the grocery store. You wouldn't think, oh, that's a trailer park person. It's like, there's a person, that's a person. One may live in a mansion, one may live in a trailer park. You can't really tell the difference.
And they're hard. I feel like it's hard workers. Like, you never really see people like hiring plumbers or hiring roofers to come and like fix their... Never. It's always people collecting metal scraps, people working on their own roofs, their own cars, like painting their own driveway. Like, You know what I mean? Painting their own cars in the driveway.
Doing their own siding.
Yeah.
All kind of things.
You see a lot of work trucks that have like a magnet and they do some kind of service business.
I mean, speaking of plumbing, we've had to do some plumbing. Just less than a week ago, had a water leak, like right near the water meter. The water just like, I had bumped it with a ladder because I was on the roof trying to fix the noise issue we have when it rains. You can hear it. Yeah, so I was on the roof trying to fix that, and when I was coming down, I bumped the ladder into the water meter contraption, and it just went everywhere. This is like the main water pipe that leads into the trailer. But water went everywhere, so I turned the water off as best I could. The nozzle was kind of broken, so it doesn't turn all the way off. And so then it really just bumped and slid apart like the glue failed. So I squeezed it back together, and then I put a tie down around it, and then just ratcheted the tie down as good as I could get it. And boom, it was fixed for the night. Turned the water back on, it held. We were able to shower and everything until the next day, and then the park came and fixed it since it was before the water meter. It's their responsibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was late at night. It was like 11 p.m. So it's like I had to fix it, or we had to call a plumber, which is definitely out of the question. It would be very expensive.
Right.
So
that's the interesting thing with like trailer park living is that like everything about your home is like it's almost like not really worth it to like hire someone to fix it.
When you factor in the cost of like this trailer, paying someone to do a bunch of repairs will cost more than the trailer.
Right.
Something like that.
It just doesn't feel, it feels like you would take care of it yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like your little baby.
It's like your little, it's like your project. It's very interesting.
Right. It's almost like modular in a sense.
This is like a nice way to save money.
Right.
I think.
And a nice way to weather the storm of a pandemic.
We ended up here so quick. It didn't take like a long time. You know?
Right.
It didn't take like several.
Took one bad decision.
It took one bad decision. You know what I mean? Or really running into like one psychopath. Right. Which is a bad decision. But, well, remember you had asked me what was like some like most shocking or something?
Yes.
And I went on the whole rat story.
Hardest thing to deal with.
Okay, what about?
You went on the rat story. We didn't even talk about the roaches. But that's a whole other tangent I'm sure you could go on. But the hardest thing has been dealing with you complaining about living here. That's facts. For me, that has been the hardest thing. Is like you freak out about the roaches or cockroaches or rats and all these things. And it doesn't really freak me out. It's not like I'm at home in a trailer full of rats, but it's like, it is what it is. We got here, we did what we did. This is it. You know what I mean? Just have to deal with it. But you like scream, like, ah, and all these things. I'm literally thinking like, is your safety in jeopardy? You know, like, you have to like get the strap, what's going on? And it's like, oh, it's a rat.
But okay, also
so I thought I was going to put somebody under, and it's a rat. You know what I mean? So that's been the most difficult thing for me to deal with.
Okay, that's fair. I really like, guys, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I cannot, sometimes I just like cannot control my reaction. Like if it's something that's so like cringy, like to me, then like I instantly I'm like, and then I'm like, wait, let me calm down. It's not a big deal. As soon as I see it, I think, oh my gosh, it's got diseases. It's gonna bite me, and I'm gonna get an infection. They're gonna have to chop off my arm, and I'm gonna die.
I get it. I mean, I totally get how you could freak out.
I don't know how you don't freak out.
But if I hear you freaking out, my mind doesn't go, oh, it's probably a bug. You know what I mean? So that's been difficult to deal with.
Okay, but guys, simultaneously, we also had to deal with the con artists and that posse for a long time. So I feel like when I freak out about that, it would be similar to a rat freak out, but that's two different issues that I'm freaking out about.
Right, so you're like always freaking out.
So I'm always freaking. I literally, for the first year we lived here, I freaking freaked out like all the time. All the time. But that's why I say it built character.
Right.
Because I had to like learn, calm down, and deal with the situation.
But as far as like for me, living here has not been that hard. Just like, okay, where do we go from here? You know, fix all the stuff, catch the rats. Okay, let's do that. You know, it's just like, okay, let's get stuff done. But it's not like I'm a very prissy kind of person.
No, you're rough.
So it's like...
You're like rugged.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, what do I have to do now? And that's what it's been for me. It hasn't been that hard living here personally. Like,
yeah. Like, you're not even so quick to accept assistance or help, even in the worst situation.
I feel like the assistance just like prolongs your misery.
True.
You have to dig out of it yourself. Is someone going to buy me a nice house in a nice neighborhood and pay the taxes and all the maintenance that I probably couldn't afford at the time? If you're going to do all that, great. Just enable me for the rest of my life. But if you're just going to give me a little assistance, all that's going to do is prolong my misery.
So you mean if
somebody... So I got to earn my way out of it.
Yeah. So like, okay, like let's say somebody like, you know, wanted to buy you a house right now. You wouldn't accept it?
I would. You want to buy me a house? Go ahead.
But you're like,
I'm
basically,
not gonna ask,
if it's not monumental, like if it's not substantial, then like it's not gonna like fix the situation, then it's like
right. You're just gonna prolong it.
Yeah.
And let's say if you gave me $5,000 in the middle of the pandemic, great. I mean, I'm a human being. I'm probably not gonna be that motivated to work that month. It'd be like, oh, I'm probably gonna chill for a month or two till I run out of $5,000. I'm like, oh, now I need to find out how to live. And I feel like that's usually what happens when you give people handouts.
Hey, low-key, that's what's going on right now with all the systematic help.
Oh, you're talking about all the unemployment and stuff?
Yeah, low-key.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of companies, it's a shortage of employees. Like, they can't find people to hire. I remember we were in Publix the other day, and one of the clerks was talking to another clerk about Walmart has an $800 signing bonus if you get hired at Walmart. And they were talking about doing that just for a week or two just to get the bonus and leaving. But it's like, it's hard to find employees right now when you get paid more to be on unemployment. But yeah, that's with all the handouts. I don't really want handouts. If you want to buy me something, great. If you want to give me some money, go for it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be looking for handouts to get by.
Yeah, true. Looking for it.
Right. It's like I'm going to work to get by.
I mean,
I'm not going to turn down a handout. You want to give me some money, give it to me. But you know what I mean? It's like handouts are not what's going to sustain me. I'm looking for sustenance, not just a patch.
So it's like you're grateful for it, but you're not looking for it.
I'm not going to call relatives like, hey, can you give me? Like, no.
You'd be surprised how much grit I think people have.
Right, how resourceful you can become.
You can be. That's what I've learned living here is like you can become so resourceful and so responsible.
Right.
You know, like overnight, I previously thought, oh, everyone that lives in a trailer park is poor, but like
that's not true. Like, there's BMWs here. What else? I don't know if I've seen Mercedes, but there's other nice cars.
Even though a lot of people look poor and stuff, I think a lot do like blue collar work and just don't dress super nice, don't care what people think.
Right.
But they're not just poor.
And then some people are.
And some people are.
Which is the same in like a normal neighborhood too.
Right. Yep.
Like we met people in just your average suburban household neighborhood that like they're living on Social Security and they may have hired us to do something, but they don't have a lot of money and
or their
tell us their whole story.
Yep.
Yeah, their parents passed them down the house and they're pretty broke, but they have a house passed down.
Yeah. So it's really surprisingly not that different than any other neighborhood.
Okay, for you, what's been the best part about living in a trailer?
You know, I kind of like how small it is. Because I'm not a tiny home person, okay? Like, I'm, like, large, lavish. Like, I want a freaking mansion, okay? But when you live in such a small space, I feel like you start to get to know the people and animals you live with so much better. And you spend so much, like, true quality time, you know? It's like you're forced to be within each other's space. So
like, all the time.
Like, all the time. So it's just, like, it brings you together in a way. Like, it's very easy to, like, if you're pissed off at someone and you live in a huge, 2,000, that's not even that huge, 2,000 square foot.
Changes your whole perspective.
But, like, if
you live in a 2 square foot trailer, the 2,000 square feet sounds like a lot.
Literally, this room we're in right now is 10 by 10, and it's, like, wall to wall. Like, width of the trailer.
Yeah.
But... So you're in a 2,000 square foot home, and it's like you're getting into an argument. You can easily go to opposite ends of the house and not see each other until the next meal or something. But you can be pissed, and you can just take your pissedness so far away from the other person that, like, you can stay pissed.
But here, you can be on one end of the trailer, another person goes to the other end. You can talk in a normal voice, and you might be able to make out what the person's saying.
Yeah.
You'll definitely hear them. You might be able to hear just exactly as they're saying it. But if you talk, just raise your voice a little bit, you'll be able to hear from end to end.
Yeah. I mean, literally, living in a trailer has kind of made me contemplate, like, necessity versus excess in so many ways, And it's like, well, with cheaper expenses, so less stress and a smaller space, it's like, well, you naturally, like, human animals, we just bond more. You know what I mean? We play more, we joke more, we kick it more. And... that is something that's just like when you're in a big space all spread out, you know what I mean?
Right,
it's like, and you're constantly working. It's like, it's just not the environment for that.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is it like? Because, modern day, make everything about race.
Right.
Everything's about race. What's it like to drive while black? And what's it like to go to the store while black? All this stuff. Right. So what is it like for you to be in a trailer as a black person?
In a trailer park.
In a trailer, not just a trailer park as a black person.
I really I don't think race. I don't think I ever like. I don't. There's not too many black people. Like I think there's only like 1 or 2.
Right,
and there's like
maybe
300 or 400 homes in this place.
Yeah, this
Mobile
is a
homes.
big trailer park. And there might be like that we've seen maybe 2 or 3 families that are like black Latinos, and then maybe one guy, and he might have a wife, like older people, like retirees. That might be like what people call African American or whatever, like black. But other than that, it's not many black people here. There's a decent amount of Hispanics, and then white people.
A lot of white people, yeah.
But
I don't think race. Like I don't know. What about you? I don't think it really.
I mean, I haven't really noticed much of a difference between living in the burbs versus living in a trailer park. To be honest, like people are just people. People are chill. It's not like what the media wants you to think, that it's like so much racial division. I haven't experienced a lick of racism in this trailer park. I've experienced racism other places just randomly, not like this huge problem where everyone's racist, like less than a handful of times my whole life.
But it's not like racism doesn't exist.
Probably literally like 1 to 3 times total my whole life. It's hard to even remember it. Probably something small. Here, people are pretty chill, pretty down to earth. Everyone works hard, and it seems like people don't really care what other people think of them. Yeah. It's like, you know, in a regular neighborhood in the burbs, you have the whole keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, we got to cut the grass because they cut the grass.
We got to pay this.
What are the neighbors going to think if our grass gets tall? Like that kind of thing. That doesn't exist.
We need a new mailbox because their mailbox is brick.
It's like people here are surviving, and they seem pretty happy, like enjoying their life.
Yeah.
It's like you may hear someone talking loudly on the phone, and it's kind of like a TMI thing. And they don't care who hears it. You know, it's like people do not care. They're nice, they're friendly, living their life, and enjoying themselves. So as far as being black in a trailer, it's not.
I don't think it's any
for
different.
This specific park. You know, maybe there are some parks that are racist. I don't know. Yeah. But for this park, I mean, it's not. It hasn't changed anything for me.
No, I think our neighbors, and like I think it's all pretty. Like we lived in Miami Beach before. We lived in LA, like in Studio City, California before, and then of course St. Louis, Missouri, and Hollywood, Florida. And I don't notice a difference between. Like, all the places are extremely different, but as far as being black in any of those places, I think people just live their life. They're not really worried about you.
Right.
I think unless you stand out in some way that strikes them as, like, negative, you know, then I think they might talk to you about your dogs. They might pay attention if you have some people they're not used to seeing around. But, I mean, all those things are...
Also, you might have different experiences depending on how you carry yourself.
Yep.
I'm sure I could concoct an appearance that would draw attention based on what people say is race, but it's really the appearance. And then I would say, hey, that person was being racist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's like we even have maneuvered on the sidewalk in a way because somebody looked sketchy that wasn't black. And...
Yeah, sometimes people are black.
Sometimes people, we've done it.
You look sketchy to me,
you
then
look sketchy, you know what I'm saying?
About to cross the street. You know I don't care what race you are. Sketchy is sketchy.
Right.
It's been chill. Like a lot of people's judgments, stigmas, this, and that. I haven't felt it.
Nah. If we were to move from here to like a really nice neighborhood, you know, where the average house is upwards of $500,000 or something, I think we would adapt.
We would adapt. You know? And I think the neighborhood would be different. We might miss things about this.
Yeah.
Like just the realness of the neighbors. They're not worried about, I have to put on makeup before so-and-so sees me. Or, we need new shutters because they got new shutters. Like none of that petty stuff goes on here. And I kind of like that.
It's what you make of it. I feel like in the trailer park, it's like you're not ashamed to just like, you know what I mean? You just pick up and carry on. And
we've visited other trailer parks.
Yeah.
You know, we bought things from Marketplace and sold things. You know, went to a trailer park way out. It was north somewhere. Was it north of Newport Richey? Was it in Newport Richey?
It was north of Newport Richey.
I don't know. Yeah, it was north of Newport Richey. But close to Newport Richey. And it's like, you know, pull up is this like trailer park that looks like Trailer Park Boys. Guy comes out wearing a MAGA hat and we're buying something from him.
He has his dog chained up.
Yeah, his dog was chained up outside. Guy was nice as can be.
Yeah.
Very nice. He kept us there, just kept talking to us, telling us about his life and where he works and like just what he's been going through in his life. And just very nice guy. But you would have saw where he lived, you'd think, oh, this is trailer trash. Or you see his hat, you're going to judge him instantly. Right. But I mean, he's a perfectly nice guy. He sold us stuff and it was what he said it was. He wasn't trying to get over on us. It was just like chill. Yeah. And that's been like 99.999% of our experiences with living in this trailer park, living in the other trailer park, and doing business with people who live in trailer parks.
Right. Quite similar to seem like any
everyday people.
Yeah.
You have some good people, you have some bad people, but most of the people are pretty chill, pretty just average,
most people
good
just
people.
living their lives.
Right.
Just trying to get by and have a good time.
What things should we talk about on this channel? Do you have any topics you want us to talk about, cover?
Anything
current
you're interested
events?
in.
What is any other questions about living in a trailer? Let us know down in the comments or in Discord.
And until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. We to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.